I'm back, stuck to God, and you can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. Can't get rid of me. I'm back, stuck to God, and you can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. In rap, I'm the epitome. Toes tap on the regularly. I'm a legend, these streets know of me. So punk, get out my face. Your ecstasy lays plain and simple, you a hoe G. Stuck on the lower C. Like a mirror, I make it much clearer. Automatically, I turn into a live flamethrower G. Cause I'ma make it out the mouth of the snake. In the rap debate, I scorch your hate. The light thought, I wear your heart. You got too much weight, so off you go to the lower place. So act foolish, now find your place with Anubis. It's God lineage, I thought you knew this. 25,000 year cycle, yeah we back in the sun. Now you back on the run, yeah run, you back to the mountains.
We are back on the record in number 32 on the court's 8 o'clock calendar. Sir, I need to start with your full legal name and your date of birth, please.
Yeah, Mitch Tabell.
Is it Mitchell Timothy Tabell?
Yes.
All right, thank you. What is your date of birth?
9186.
All right, thank you. And then let me have the appearances of counsel, please, and let's start with the state.
Good morning, Your Honor. Aaron Harder on behalf of the state.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brian Russo on behalf of Mr. Tabell.
All right, thank you. Mr. Tabell, you've been arrested on the following allegations. Some of these have the wrong classes of felony attached, so I will note that I've corrected those. The allegations against you are 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. Those are class 2 felonies. 1 allegation of aggravated assault involving serious physical injury. That's a class 3 felony. The court did not find probable cause on that allegation because the injuries alleged, based on the facts as the court knows them right now, do not meet the legal standard for serious physical injury. That does not mean that that allegation is dismissed. It just means that the court is not setting release conditions for it, and your lawyer can explain more to you about how that works. 1 allegation of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, that is a class 5 felony. 2 allegations of aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, which are class 5 felonies under the law. 2 allegations of endangerment, each is a class 6 felony. 1 allegation of reckless driving, that's a class 2 misdemeanor. 1 allegation of criminal speeding, and that is a class 3 misdemeanor. Mr. Russo, oh, I see, you're here for all further proceedings. All right, I just needed to check your NOA. All right, so I will note, Mr. Tabell, that you do have an attorney retained, and that is Mr. Russo, so I'm not going to...
Okay, great. I just want to say there was no probable cause, and I was resisting unlawful arrest due to federal law.
Mr. Tabell,
go ahead.
we're not there yet. Your status conference is scheduled for February 1st at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. Your preliminary hearing is scheduled for February 5th at 8:45. Before the court sets conditions of bail or release, each party will have a chance to address the court. We will start with the state. I need you to please not interrupt while this person is speaking. Then I'm going to give your lawyer a chance to address the court on these allegations. So just be patient.
Okay. And the officers can be killed under USC Section 242? I just want to put that on the record.
All right,
And should be,
Mr.
in my opinion.
I need you to just be calm and patient, and I'm going to let the county attorney address the court first.
Judge, in this case, the state is requesting a $400,000 cash-only bond in this case. First, Your Honor, the defendant does pose a flight risk based on the facts of the case. The officers attempted a traffic stop. The defendant failed to yield and led them on a very lengthy pursuit on freeways and city streets, which ultimately ended in a collision. When the defendant, after the collision, the defendant again attempted to flee from police, and police had to, citizens had to point out to police that the defendant, who the defendant was, and police took him into custody at that point. So based on his history, or based on the facts of the case, he does pose as a flight risk. In addition, Your Honor, the defendant poses an extreme danger to the community. Again, with the pursuit ending, with the end of the pursuit, the defendant went left of center, went into the left-hand turn lane, ran red lights, went into the opposing lane of traffic, and collided into another vehicle head-on. Fortunately, the victim did not suffer serious physical injuries, but the victim was nevertheless injured, and based on looking at the collision, it was probably inches if it was inches the other way, he probably would have seriously injured or killed her. In addition, Your Honor, the defendant, looking at his criminal history, he has several arrests from different states. In particular, from New York, Your Honor, he has, it appears from September 2nd of 2011 from the state of New York. He was convicted of assault in the second degree with intent to cause serious physical injury, which was a felony. He was also convicted of assault in the second degree with intent to cause serious physical injury, with intent to cause injury, He was given 5 years of probation and 6 months jail in that. In addition, Your Honor, statements that he made in the Form 4 are very concerning to the state. As far as him being a flight risk and following the orders of the court, he said that he states that he will not obey any rules of law imposed on his freedom, which is in the Form 4.
Who said that? I said that? I didn't say that.
Mr. Tabell, you need to let him talk.
Okay.
Your lawyer is going to have a chance to respond.
All right.
Additionally, the Form 4 also indicates that the defendant stated that he had the legal authority to take officers' lives if arrest attempts were made.
That is true case law. Supreme Court case law.
Mr. Tabell,
Okay.
please, if you continue to interrupt, it's going to become a problem.
Based on his actions right now when he's not following the court's orders to allow the state to speak uninterrupted, he poses a danger to the community. He's not going to follow the rules of the court or the rules of society, and he does pose a danger to the community. Based on all of that, a $400,000 cash-only bond is appropriate.
All right, thank you. Mr. Russo, what did you want to say on behalf of your client?
Thank you, Your Honor. And first let me thank the court. I was just retained this morning by Mr. Tabell's father, and I have a very limited command of the facts. Obviously, the state has more information than I do, but Mr. Harder was kind enough to share some of the information with me, and Your Honor's staff was very gracious in allowing me to get some information to appear telephonically. Judge, the information I do have, which comes as no surprise to the court, is there's a previous FMI designation. I think we're going to have Rule 11 issues that will need to be addressed. That's not really relevant for release conditions, but I tell the court that for purposes of the record, I don't have any discovery or any information. In fact, I wasn't able to have a conversation with my client, but I think the court can clearly make its own observations with regard to what I've said. I don't have what I'd like to do at this point, Your Honor, is I accept the state's avowals as to the facts, and I understand the recommendation. I know that danger and flight are components the court needs to consider. So at this time, Your Honor, I think that we would be hard-pressed to challenge the state's recommendation at this point with any meaningful argument. And what I'm going to do then is at a later point address that with Mr. Harder and the court through way of motion and address it at that point. So I would ask that if the court is inclined to grant that, that it be that counsel have leave to address that at a later date.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Russo. Mr. Tabell, the court is going to set the bond requested by the county attorney's office. That is $400,000, and it is cash only. That is based on a finding that you do pose a potential risk of danger to people in the community and that you are a flight risk. And, of course, that is without prejudice for your attorney bringing forward additional information that is not currently available and presenting that to the court in an attempt to change that release decision. And you can talk more with your lawyer about that. I'm sure that he will be coming to see you very soon. Okay. You do have written release conditions. If you did post this bond, then you have to comply with all of them. We're going to give you a copy in writing, but they include that you can't go to the scene of the alleged crimes, no contact with the alleged victims or any of the witnesses. You can't possess any weapons and no drugs without a valid prescription. If you'll sign for the clerk, she'll give you a copy of those release conditions. It'll have everything I just told you in writing, including your court dates.
Okay. Will you be hearing the preliminary hearing?
No, sir. That's going to
Okay.
go across the street to the Superior Court.
All right. There is a probable cause issue with this case.
All right. We'll talk
I
to
look
your
forward
lawyer
to sharing
about
it.
that.
Okay.
Your lawyer will absolutely help you with that.
All right. Great. Mr. Russo,
Yes,
are you speaking with Timothy about posting bond? Is that something we can do immediately?
yes, and I'll be down to see you this afternoon.
All right.
All right. Great.
All right. So.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Russo. If you'll sign for the clerk, you'll be all finished for right now.
Judge, I beg the court's indulgence. What was the first date you set?
Oh, it is February 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That's in the downtown RCC. Preliminary hearing February 5th at 8:45.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to go off the record now.
Hi. Are you recording already? Hi, how's it going? Okay, everybody's recording already. I didn't know cut to the chase and go right to it. Hold on. I'm going to stay here and talk. All the cameras are going already. I'd like to talk about probable cause. There is no probable cause in this case. You're already recording. Just keep going.
We can't hear you though. We have to have a microphone.
Your mics are over there. But
Yeah.
you're recording now.
We just want to hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
How
you.
you doing there?
Good. How are you?
Channel 3 and 5?
No, channel 15.
15. Oh, relatives in the media business? You look so familiar. No, I'll stand. I'll stand.
So you're just your handcuffs?
Okay, I'm ready to go. All right, I just want to say there's no probable cause. It's absolutely legal to resist arrest with force to the extent of taking an officer's life if necessary. That is federal law. That is U.S. Supreme Court case law that states that. And I want to go back to the beginning and just say there was no probable cause or reasonable suspicion or a traffic violation to make this stop in the first place. So I did not stop the vehicle. It was an unlawful attempt to make an unlawful arrest. It was an unlawful arrest, and there is no probable cause. I called the mayor, tried to get him on the phone to resolve the situation. I also called 911. I left a report. I told them that they were attempting to make an unlawful arrest to call their officers back. Their officers did turn off their lights and back off for a bit. Then at the very end, when I got off the highway there, they drove off the highway. They had their lights off. An unmarked vehicle attacked me abruptly, bumped into the vehicle. So I sped off to, resist the unlawful arrest. And an accident ensued and got out of the vehicle and was arrested. So anyways, one more thing I was missing. Oh, yeah, a detective called me after I called 911. He was not able to tell me why they were attempting to make the stop in the first place. He couldn't justify probable cause. There was none whatsoever. He couldn't have a reasonable conversation about why they wanted to stop me in the first place. So I think that sums it all up. I would like to either get like a pro bono federal civil lawyer, or I have a relative, Scott Taybell in Wisconsin, who could file a suit from Chicago and subpoena all the evidence from the case, including the 911 call, including the conversation with the detective. The phone call to the mayor was probably recorded. They can subpoena all the helicopter camera footage and the police reports and anything that's been written down by the district attorney's office. So I'd like to file a suit against the city and against the district attorney's office and proceed that way and file for a federal injunction against any prosecution coming from the city if they do not immediately drop the charges and release me now.
Were you worried about hurting anyone else?
What's that?
Did you have anything inside of your car, any stolen items?
Negative. I'm not a criminal law. If you have an impression that I've been arrested, look at the federal case laws that I have. I have several against me for unreasonable arrests without probable cause. I've had several issues with police before for being charged for things that I was absolutely innocent of, and I'm filing suits against them for those arrests. So there seems to be a pattern here of several arrests against me for things I have not done. They're all in the federal courts. It's all out there for everybody to review. And this is another perfect example of being stopped and arrested for something that I did not do and without reasonable cause. So the police are out of line here. They need better training. Furthermore, there is federal case law or federal law, 18 U.S.C. section 241 and 242, that protects citizens' rights of America to a high degree. And they say arrests without probable cause can be considered kidnapping or attempted kidnapping for prosecutions as well. It can warrant life in prison. It can warrant the death penalty. So that is one of the greatest laws ever written to uphold the U.S. Constitution, and they can be charged, including the prosecutors, under this section if they do not drop the charges and release me immediately.
Were you
Why
worried
didn't you
about
just
hurting
pull
anyone
over?
else when you got off the freeway and you slammed into that car? Were you worried about hurting anyone else?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things I said to the police, to the 911 operator, it was on the message, they should pull that and make it public. Here's my verbal consent, was I didn't want to jeopardize anyone's safety on the road. And I said that to the detective too. I said, call the officers back. I don't want them to attack me. I don't want to jeopardize anyone's safety. They were throwing spike strips, you know, at me along the road as I was just driving along. I wasn't really running. I was just kind of driving along and moving out of the way. Anyways, and then I drove back to the college. I'm currently enrolled as an ASU student. I take a couple filmmaking courses. I am a filmmaking major. I have a website, mitchtabel.us. It has links to my production websites, to my photography websites, to a number of things I've done, if anyone's not familiar with that.
Why didn't you just
Go ahead.
pull over and ask the officer why he was stopping you to avoid this whole mess?
Yeah, well, I was concerned that it was going to result in some kind of unlawful arrest, and I didn't trust some detective in an unmarked car, a detective driving out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't think he was state police. He was probably city police, the original officer, but it was kind of a shady-looking car. I mean, it was an old beaten Crown Royal, and I just had funny vibes about it. I wasn't going to stop for the guy, and there was no reason to stop me because there was no traffic violation.
So if it was a
Sorry.
marked car, you would have...
If it was a different car, a different officer, I may have felt differently about stopping, but yet there was still no reason to stop in the first place. So you don't have to stop if there is, or you shouldn't have to stop if the laws vary. You don't have to stop.
What was going on when he was trying to pull you over?
It was just he was driving very slow on the road, and I didn't want to pass him. So I got over behind him because he was going like 10 miles under the speed limit. So I didn't want to actually pass him. So I slowed down, and then as cars started to build up behind us, I moved into the right lane in case they wanted to pass, but they didn't pass either. They just hung out to either watch what was going on, or they didn't want to pass the officer themselves. Whatever the reason was, they didn't want to pass either. So we just drove along, and then eventually, or after I moved over into the right lane, shortly after he moved into the left lane.
So you knew it was an officer?
I did know it was an officer, yes.
You said the car was shady and you didn't know.
Oh, yes. It was like an old Crown Royal. I mean, it was the most unprofessional looking police car like I've ever seen.
What were you
is
doing
what I'm
out
gonna say.
there in that
Anyways,
part?
I was out there driving around. I was either going down to the Amtrak station or I was thinking about going to San Diego. I was kind of going in between. I was going to get out of Phoenix because I just hit class for the day, so I had a few days off. I was going to go to San Diego or to the Amtrak. And then as I was driving down, I realized that the Amtrak was like the following day, and then I thought I might go back to the airport. So then I turned back around to go up to the Phoenix airport to fly back to Chicago. That's what I was doing. I don't know what this officer was out there doing or why he attempted to stop me, but he had no valid reason whatsoever.
Do you have
What do
any
you have to say
message for the
about
woman who was driving the black SUV that you crashed into who had to go to the hospital with injuries?
Was it black or it was black? Not gray?
It was a dark colored,
Okay.
I believe black SUV.
Okay. Yeah, how bad were her injuries?
She was taken to the hospital.
She was taken out. Yes, she should file a joint suit along with me against the city because I said to the police twice and I said to the mayor, I said, look, I don't want to jeopardize anyone's safeties. They're making an unreasonable, unlawful stop. I was stopping to get gas, and they attacked my vehicle and bumped into it in unmarked vehicles. I made a 911 report that I thought corrupt police officers were attempting to make an unlawful arrest, and after the police backed off and turned off their lights, unmarked vehicles that were not even like police vehicles, unmarked vehicles made an abrupt turn to block me in, and the other one just bashed into the back of me. So I was abruptly attacked, and I just, sped off to resist the unlawful arrest. So it's unfortunate that anyone else had to be involved in an accident. I said it twice. I said it at the 911 call, and I said it to the detective who called me, and I may have said it a third time to the mayor. I really didn't want anything to happen. They had no reason to make any kind of aggressive stop or to throw spike strips. Completely unreasonable. There wasn't like a big crime. They said it was for like an unsafe lane change is what they told me. And then speeding after they were pursuing me. So that doesn't really make sense why they would want to actively, aggressively chase somebody down who doesn't want to stop, who believes they're under unlawful, attempt of unlawful arrest, and who's calling 911, explaining that to them so they know who I am. They have my phone, they have my license plate, they have my identity. If they want to pull a warrant for like a speeding ticket, go ahead, but you don't aggressively chase people and pursue them, because it just instigates issues and can cause problems and jeopardize the safety of other people. And I said it several times, I didn't want that to happen. So anyways, it pursued. So I think the police and the city should be held liable for her accident, for my accident. I will be filing a suit against them. She should as well. Also, I don't know where the mayor is. I called the mayor's office. I left a message, did not call back. I have not heard from the mayor. So I don't know what's going on. He hasn't heard an official statement from me regarding this case and the prosecution. So now it's been made. So hopefully he'll reconsider and dismiss these charges immediately.
At the end of the day, you're responsible for the speed of your vehicle. Are your perceived freedoms more important than the potential lives of other people?
Now, I wasn't really speeding. I got a speeding ticket.
115 miles an hour is speeding.
When was that 115?
That's where you were clocked.
Clocked where? When?
Probably on the highways.
Clocked on the highways. You know, it's in the police. Have you seen the police reports? Excuse me, can I get water? Does anyone have, can I get a cup of water here?
Not until you get back into your housing unit.
What's that?
Not until you get back into your housing
Excuse me?
unit.
Okay, that's fine. Forget the water. All right, one last thing. I just want to say there's also a speeding ticket in there for over 85 miles an hour. If you review the video footage on the highway, I was hardly speeding, just driving along. At the very end there, it was a, it was an unfortunate attempt to escape or to resist an unlawful arrest, and that's what it had to be. I had to speed off, and that's just what happened. They're entirely accountable for that. I warned them twice. You call 911, they can get in touch with state police, they can get in touch with city police, and everything. So that's it. I'm all wrapped up. What's that?
Do you consider yourself a
Absolutely,
citizen?
I'm all American. Look, one more thing. I've got to get bailed out. Hopefully,
why did you have a license plate?
Let me finish, and then you can talk. Okay, so one last thing. I've got to get bailed out. I got to get out of here immediately. I'd like to do this in finer clothes and not in an orange jumpsuit and handcuffs. This is degrading, and I don't like it. I'll file a suit for this in itself. Anyways, I'd like to continue this in finer clothes. The bail is $400,000 right now. If they don't, they should just drop the charges altogether immediately right now, or they can all be charged under Section 241 or 242.
Just one last thing. You keep mentioning that it was an unlawful arrest, but then you stated that they were trying to pull you over for an illegal lane change.
Right, which never happened. Right. Hey, listen, police can't go around harassing people to be the man. Okay, that's what they attempt to do. I have several cases in the courts where they just go out and arrest people for unreasonable rings. And this is exactly, it never happened. Where's the dash cam of the illegal lane change on the highway?
So how many cases like this
it didn't happen.
Won?
What's that?
How many cases like this have you won?
Your suits.
How
many?
Okay, that's it. We're wrapped up today. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming. I'm out of here.
Goodbye.
We're giving
you time.
Why would you just pull over?
Thanks so much for coming. What did you ask the people on the sidewalk? Why do you consider kidnapping? It's not safe for people.
Chill, bro.
Fuck down. Fuck
what the fuck is wrong with you, man?
I was going to the store.
Don't you ever fucking put your hands on me. You
these niggas some hoes, bro.
Don't you ever put your fucking hands on me.
I was going to the store.
I don't give a fuck where the fuck you was going.
Hoes, bro. Chill, bro. Don't say nothing, bro. Don't say nothing, bro. Don't say nothing, bro.
Back up, man.
Don't say nothing, bro.
You put your hands on me ever again like
you put your hands on me.
Let me let you know.
You just put your hands on me. You just put your hands on me, bro. So it's cool for you to put your hands on me.
I put my hands on you.
You didn't when man, watch out, bro. Watch out, man. Watch out, bro. Why you walking on me?
What you
I'm not doing shit to you, bro.
I'm about to make you, dog.
For what?
You better back your ass
up. What am I doing? How far you want me to back up? How far you want me to back up, bro? The fuck is you doing?
Y'all touch me. Bro, how much y'all say?
Motherfucker, let me tell you something. If you walk up on me like that again, I'm gonna
after he put his hands on me, he can put his hands on me, but
why you still walking away?
Knock me out then. Okay, knock me out.
Mike!
Mike, chill, bro.
How much y'all cigarette?
Chill, bro.
705.
Cause these niggas some hoes, as always.
705. We need you to get off your face.
I ain't in your face, bro. I'm saying about my vehicle, bro. You jumped out of your vehicle all the way over there. I'm posted. Y'all niggas some hoes, man.
Give me a camera.
Relax, man.
Give me a
Relax,
camera.
it's not worth it, bro.
No, you done just maced this nigga, bro. Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
You ever fucking put your hands on me again?
I'm gonna need you to back up, all right? Just back up.
Bro, why is you pushing me, man?
Back up.
Okay, you don't have to touch me, bro. The fuck is wrong with y'all hoe ass niggas, man? Look at him, putting his knees on him and everything.
Get the fuck out of here.
You need to get out.
Why? This is a public store, bro. I can't come in.
You can't come in.
Niggas hoes, bro. Mike, stop fighting, bro. Stop fighting, Mike. Bro, you recording this shit, bro?
Better keep your ass down.
You recording this shit, bro?
All this shit is recording, big time. Who gives a fuck about that bitch ass camera? I'm gonna need you to back up.
What back? I'm not in your view, bro. You can handle your business. I'm not doing shit, bro. Mike, bro. Mike, just chill, bro. Mike, just chill, bro. Just chill, Mike. Look, all the same. Same jump. What I do?
I'm back, up to God, and you can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. Can't get rid of me. I'm back, up to God, and you can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. In rap, I'm the epitome. Toe tap on the regularly. I'm a legend, these streets know of me. So punk, get out my face. Your ecstasy lays plain and simple. You a hoe and G. Stuck on the lower C. Like a mirror, I make it much clearer. Automatically, I turn into a live flamethrower G. Cause I'ma make it out the motherfucking snake. In the rap debate, I scorch your hate. The light thought, I wear your heart. You got too much weight. So off you go to the lower place. So act foolish. Now find your place with Anubis. It's some God lineage. I thought you knew this. 25,000 year cycle. Yeah, we back in the sun. Now you back on the run. Yeah, run. You back to the mountains. The tree of life. The youthful fountain. The hell with Queen Helen spell. A new day is dawning. But you too dumb to tell. She want more. With the rebel, yeah. I'm back. Thank to God. You can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. Yeah, I'm back. Thank to God. And you can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. I'm back. Thank to God. And you can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. She want more. With the rebel, yeah. She want more. With the rebel, yeah. She want more. With the rebel, yeah. She want more.